Travel, learn, and see your friends. 走学，看朋友 by Dr. Edna Ma, narrated by Linda Yi. It was the first day of first grade at the Language Immersion School in Los Angeles, where classes were taught in both Mandarin Chinese and English. Ethan was the first student to arrive. His parents kissed and hugged him goodbye and wished him good luck on his first day. He could feel his heart racing in excitement. He couldn't wait to make new friends. He walked over to some building blocks and started to make a skyscraper. Minutes later, Dean entered, holding his mom's hand. He could feel his heart racing in nervousness. Dean saw a boy playing alone with his favorite building blocks and approached him. "Do you want to play with me?" the boy asked. "My name is Ethan." "Okay, my name is Dean." Dean pointed at the space shuttle on Ethan's shirt. "Do you like space shuttles?" "Yes, I do." "Want to make a rocket launcher?" "Sure." After all the students arrived, the teachers asked the kids to sit down at their assigned seats. Ethan and Dean discovered that they were seated next to each other. For lunch, they ate sandwiches and carrots. The teachers told the students, "Don't forget to eat your carrots. They're good for your eyes." Dean and Ethan turned to each other and said, "That's what my mom says." Laughing at the coincidence, the boys finished their lunch and ran outside to play in the sandboxes. "What else does your mom say?" Ethan asked. "She says I have to do my homework every night and study hard," Dean replied. "Ethan, my parents say that too. Why are you studying Mandarin?" "Because we're Chinese," Dean said. "My parents tell me I should know my language and culture." "Why are you studying Mandarin?" "My parents say it's good for me, like eating broccoli and carrots," Ethan said, repeating the answer his parents had given him. That night, Ethan told his parents all about his new friend Dean. "We both like dinosaurs and rackets and digging outside in the dirt. And his mom makes him eat his broccoli and carrots too." At bedtime, as Ethan was lying in bed, he asked his dad, "Are we Chinese?" "No, we're American." "Why am I learning Mandarin?" "You don't have to be Chinese to learn Mandarin, just like you don't have to be British to learn English." "Why do I go to a Mandarin immersion school?" "Because we think that learning Chinese is good for you, like eating your vegetables." "Why?" "Because you're exercising your brain the same as you exercise your body. When you learn a new language, different parts of your brain get a chance to be used." Ethan pictured his brain sweating while lifting dumbbells. "Why is that good for me?" "Because learning new things, like languages, is like having more colors and supplies in your art box. At first, you only had a small box of crayons. Then you had markers. Now you're using watercolors and mixing those colors together to make new colors. Each one of these is a tool for you to create something beautiful. Learning a new language is like having more tools to create with. Is this like when we lived in France and visited all those art museums? Exactly. We made a lot of new friends and tried a lot of new foods too. New friends like Dean. Exactly. I like that you're asking so many questions. That night, Dean told his parents and little sister, Genevieve, who was in kindergarten, all about his first day of school and his new friend Ethan. Mom, he is exactly like me. We both like dinosaurs and rockets. His mom sounds just like you too. She was happy that he had a new friend and would no longer be nervous about attending school. The next morning at school, Dean asked, Mom, which of these students do you think is my new friend Ethan? Is he the boy wearing the baseball hat and green shirt? No, Ethan's wearing the blue shirt. Before anyone knew it, the first month of school was over. The teacher was announcing the first field trip to the Natural History Museum. Dean and Ethan turned to each other and loudly whispered, Yeah! I bet I know more dinosaurs than you. No way. I challenge you to a dinosaur duel. T-Rex. That's too easy. Triceratops. Velociraptor. Stegosaurus. Spinosaurus. Brontosaurus. Hey, they're not called Brontosaurus anymore. They're called Apatosaurus. Ethan, Dean, do I need to separate you two? The teacher asked. They shook their heads and quieted down. Neither wanted to be separated. At dinner one night, Dean and Genevieve's parents told them their dad had received a promotion at work, and the family would be moving to Chicago, Illinois. They explained that Dean and Genevieve would attend a different school next year. Will Ethan go to this new school too? No, he will stay here, his dad said. But you will make new friends. Plus, you have your sister Genevieve, and she is your friend for life. You can keep in touch with Ethan with emails and writing letters. The corners of Dean's mouth turned downward. He knew he could come up with a better solution. Genevieve, seeing how upset her brother was, came up and hugged Dean. Maybe I can help you? Suddenly, Dean had an idea. He had just learned about sister cities in school. Turning to the internet, he discovered that Shanghai is the sister city to Chicago. His fingers tapped quickly on the keyboard. Did you know that Shanghai is the world's biggest city? There are many museums and a huge aquarium there. Look, there are sharks at the aquarium, and dolphins too. I want to go, Genevieve said excitedly. We should convince Mom and Dad to take us to a language camp there, so we can visit the aquarium and other fun places. We have to convince them to say yes, and then we will show Ethan how to get his parents to agree, so we will be able to spend the summer together. Genevieve shrugged her shoulders, not knowing what to say, but she was happy that her brother was smiling. That night, Dean couldn't sleep. He was up all night scribbling notes with ideas of how to see Ethan after his family moved. The next morning, Dean sprinted up to Ethan and announced, "My family is moving away, and we might never see each other again. Ethan, you're my best friend. We can't let that happen. But don't worry, I came up with a plan." Dean opened his notebook and showed Ethan his notes. "Our parents like to travel and learn new things." "What are you talking about, Dean?" "Listen to this. I've made a plan for us to see each other, but it's disguised as learning. We can call it TLC. What does TLC mean? Well, T stands for travel. We can travel to China and the sights. L stands for learn. We will obviously be learning Mandarin. And C stands for see Ethan. Moving away would be a disaster. If I can make our parents think that TLC is a chance to learn Mandarin, then this plan would be a success." Ethan nodded. "We have nothing to lose." That night at dinner, Ethan explained that Dean would be moving to a different city and school. "We are sorry to hear that," his dad said. "Don't be sad," Ethan said. "We have found a way to see each other again." He opened Dean's notebook. "Let me present our TLC plan. The T stands for travel to China. The L stands for learn Chinese. And the C stands for see the world and my friend Dean." Ethan's mom said, "This is a great proposal. I like your creative thinking. If you didn't study Mandarin, you probably would not have met Dean. Your dad and I will have to sort out the details, like when and how. But we are happy that you took the initiative to find a solution." Ethan didn't fully understand his parents' response, but he understood that they didn't say no. "Like you said, Dad, learning Mandarin is like exercising, and my brain would like to exercise in China." That night, both Dean and Ethan lay awake separately, envisioning their plan to study overseas. Now that their parents liked their plan, they needed to find a Mandarin school in Shanghai. They were exercising their brains, and they knew they could arrive at a creative solution, especially if they helped each other. The end. You've been listening to Travel, Learn, and See Your Friends by Dr. Edna Ma, narrated by Linda Yi of Panda Cup Stories. About the author. Edna is a physician anesthesiologist and mom who was motivated to write a bilingual Chinese children's book inspired by her son's friendship after he enrolled in a Mandarin immersion school. Although she is not a native speaker of Mandarin, she wanted to read to her children in Mandarin. She found a limited selection of books for this age group, so she created these stories to include English and Mandarin with pinyin to facilitate different reading levels. Her stories celebrate friendship and cultural diversity. About Panda Cup Stories. Panda Cup stories are stories told bilingually in Mandarin Chinese and English, offering a comfortable stepping stone into a new language and culture. Created and narrated by Linda Yi, Panda Cup Stories is currently adapting Journey to the West, 西游记, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature, into a children's book series with audio narration. Hear Linda read Travel, Learn, and See Your Friends at ednama.com. You can find other bilingual stories on the Panda website, pandacupstories.com.